I won't be saying anything later. To you and yours, to all my friends, to all those who touched my life, all those people's lives that I've touched. I see you over there. Come through. We'll have some coffee or something and shoot the shit. You know what? I got some people that I know there's some people that's gonna be up there wherever we go on, whatever's next. They'll be talking about Trump. Because that's all they've been talking about for the last 10 years. Trump this, Trump that, Trump. So Trump. That's all like front song. Bad. Does somebody say bad? All they do is talk about Donald Trump, man. It's like, wow. I don't know what's worse, Trump or slavery. Oh, come on, guys. Obviously, Trump is. Let them tell it, right? Trump's the worst thing since slavery. Hardest thing out the South since slavery. Bars. So look, guys, tonight's topic, look, this is the Tim Black Show. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Tim Black mug, the legacy mug. My legacy is a mug. Ain't that something? My legacy mug, it is politics for the people. You pick that up at timblackmug.com. timblackmug.com. Thank you for tuning into the Blackest News Show on the internet. It's what it is. On my time, in my time slot, on my channel, Wow, what a night. So what happened over the last 24 hours, guys? What can I bring you up to speed on? Tonight's topic is lies, shots, and shade. I shot the sheriff. Obama disses Kamala. New York City confessions. And the truth about that tragedy. That's interesting titles. I got my notes ready. We're locked, we're loaded. My people are tuned in. Hell, man, we might as well get going. What do you say? Let's do it. Now, in no particular order, here goes the news of the night that you need to be aware of, folks. Hit the like button. Our goal tonight is 400 likes. 400 likes. It helps us in the algorithm. The algorithm ain't been too friendly. I'm looking around like, wow, man, why is the algorithm do me like it do? But you know what? It is what it is, baby. Hit the like button. It helps us in the algorithm. It's supposed to. We'll see if it cooperates. Buck Bewley, Black Mamba, are we ready? Are we ready to rumble? Let's do it. Black Mamba in here jumping on the board quick. Thank you, Black Mamba, for everything that you do. This time, side keeps me company. That's what it is. Congratulations to the squad, man. To our squad. These are my people here. Now I'm talking about nothing else. The Tim Black Wolfpack squad. The Tim Black Wolfpack Nation. How about that? Let's get cracking. Part one.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
One other person who was on stage recently and was talking about coming into the administration is RFK Jr. He said that Trump has promised him control of the public health agencies, HHS, which would be also, CDC, FDA, USDA, all of these agencies. Is that true? Has Trump promised him basically the HHS job?
So I spent 2.5 hours this week with Bobby Kennedy Jr. And it was the most extraordinary thing because let's face it, we've all heard on the news all sorts of sort of snarky comments about him. And I said, so tell me, how's it going to go? And he said, why don't you just listen to me explain things? And what he explained was when he was born, we had 3 vaccines and autism was 1 in 10,000. Now a baby's born with 76 vaccines because in 1986, they waived product liability for vaccines. And here's the best one. They started paying the people at the NIH, right? They pay them a piece of the money for the vaccine companies. Wait a minute, let me finish. And so All of these vaccines came out without product liability. So what happened now? Autism is 1 in 34.
Okay,
amazing.
Neither of us are doctors. Vaccines are safe. RFK, I mean,
Why do you think vaccines are safe? There's no product liability anymore. They're not proven.
Kids get them and they're fine.
Why do you think they're fine?
But because they're proven scientifically to be.
How about this? There was 1 in 10,000 people.
How could you ever watch CNN? How could you watch CNN with a straight face and not know something's afoot? Yeah, how could you watch this and not be like, yo, something ain't right. I don't trust this lady. I don't trust this station. How could you not feel that way? Was the guy speaking English? I know this is an old clip. I wanted to play it because I wanted to sink through people's heads. How could you watch this and not think to yourself, wow, what a racket. The man just laid out for you. What's going on with our vaccines? They turned into a for-profit business. And this woman wants to pitch for the establishment. He just laid it down for you. It went from 3 vaccines to how many did he say? I missed the number that he said. How many did he say?
I spent 2.5 hours this week with Bobby Kennedy Jr. And it was the most extraordinary thing because let's face it, we've all heard on the news all sorts of sort of snarky comments about him. And I said, so tell me, how's it going to go? And he said, why don't you just listen to me explain things? And what he explained was when he was born, we had 3 vaccines and autism was 1 in 10,000. Now a baby's born with 76 vaccines because in 1986, they waived product liability for vaccines. And here's the best one.
I don't know if I want to hear anymore. The rest is just, you got something more damning than that, sir?
They started paying the people at the NIH, right? They pay them a piece of the money for the vaccine companies. Wait a minute, let me finish. And so all of these vaccines came out without product liability. So what happened now? Autism is 1 in 34.
Okay.
She wants to bog down and throw some I don't know, some logs in your tires. Yeah, she wants to throw a crowbar into your tires. You're going too fast. You're speaking too much truth. She can't refute anything he's saying. So what she got to do is try to slow him down, try to throw him off course, because he came in there with a mission to say something that was important. RFK Jr. says 3 vaccines to 76 vaccines. Then they put a profit motive into it. And then they waived product liability. So if you get sick, if you are able somehow to file a lawsuit about the vaccines hurting you, they have no responsibility whatsoever. None. I can't think of anything else in America. We're the most litigious country on earth. People sue for all types of stuff. Dog poo-pooing on their lawn, divorce, employment. We are the most litigious country in the Western world. I know in the Western world. I mean, everything. I mean, to tell me that should be your red flag right there. We should be able to stop right there because once you say that, the most litigious country, litigious, damn it, the country with the most lawsuits, they file the most lawsuits annually, doesn't allow you to sue on behalf of this. And if it's so tested, if so much money is spent in making sure vaccines are so great, and if they're so trustworthy, so reliable, so safe, why would they need to waive liability? It reminds me of another profession. There's another profession that they want to waive liability. It's called qualified immunity. And that's when people in certain professions kill you. In other unseemly things. And they're not held accountable because when they can't be held accountable, they have diplomatic immunity.
Amazing.
Neither of us are doctors. Vaccines are safe. RFK, I mean,
Why do you think vaccines are safe? There's no product liability anymore. They're not proven.
Kids get them and they're fine.
Why do you think they're fine?
But because they're proven scientifically to be
How about
so.
this? There was 1 in
They go
10,000
through
people with
rigorous amounts of
autism.
testing.
We all know so many more people with autism than had it when we were young. Oh, come on.
Okay,
his point is really interesting.
But
so here's what he
vaccines
said.
don't cause autism,
Okay,
which is what RFK pushes, which
Ready?
is why people are concerned that he could get a job like HHS.
You know what I noticed, man? You used to think that all the sellouts were old people. And no, this guy's a rich guy. That's a real rich dude, right? That's the billionaire guy. He's like the commerce guy now, right? Something like that, isn't he? I could be wrong. I think that's who he is. But she looks like she's a third his age. Even to tell me she's the sellout. She's the one not trying to hold the authorities or the system to account. She's trying to block, she's baller blocking for the system. That's what we're experiencing right now. That's what we're seeing. And this is so contrary to how we thought it was going to be. You know, people talk all the time about, you know, the young people, the young people, the young people. Now that the young people are raised wrong, now that the young people have stars in their eyes, now that the young people idolize those in the system. You know, I really don't know how old this woman is. I know she's full of crap, though. Yeah. I wonder how she sleeps at night. Wow. In a coffin, just like all vampires, Tim. Come on, dog.
Yes, and I don't even
He's
think
not
he
getting
could
a job for HHS. What he's trying to do, here's what he wants to do. He said, I want data. I just want data because they block
But the data's out there.
Wait, it's not.
They don't block it. You can look at it. It's online.
He wants the data so he can say these things are unsafe. He says, if you give me the data, all I want is the data, and I'll take on the data and show that it's not safe. And then if you pull the product liability, the companies will yank these vaccines right off of the market. So that's his point. He's not trying to do anything but things that made sense. And look,
this is not where I thought this was going because.
Right.
Yeah, of course you didn't want it to go this way because this is the way that, I don't know, truthful. Yeah, this is the truthful way. He came prepared. He came locked and loaded. He knew you were going to do. So he said, oh, she's going to derail this conversation and want to spend the whole time going after RFK Jr. And she wants me to play defense while she accused him of all types of stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump out the pocket immediately, run it down and out, and throw myself the ball and catch it. And that's exactly what he did, and she didn't have a response for it because she got cliff notes. She got things she wants to say, questions she wants to ask. Probably questions she can't even answer. Pathetic. Folks, look, I want to say this for the record, guys. I don't know if RFK Jr. is on the level with everything that he says. I don't know if it's to be true or not to be true, but I'd love to find out, wouldn't you? Yeah, I'd like to find out what's going on with our life expectancy. I'd like to know what's going on with the foods. Why is it that other countries? Foods we have in this country are not allowed in other countries. Just why is that? I'd like to know what's going on with our vaccines. I'd like to know why every time I turn around, I'm seeing kids, a 4-foot kid weighing 300 pounds. Like, what is going on here? Why are our kids blown up like sumo wrestlers in there in elementary school? What is going on? What's in the food, Johnson? I think most Americans would like to know the answer to that question. So it's not about kissing ass. I mean, we have people that are so locked into some of them are so locked into the drama, what's being said, the game. You know, they're so trapped in the matrix. They're running around chasing their tails, listening to these anchors on these news programs. And all I'm saying is, bump that. This ain't about MAGA or Trump or RFK or Biden or Kamala. This is about truth. We're talking about something way more important than any of those people I just mentioned. We're talking about our lives and the lives of our children, and we got fools that won't even want to have this conversation for fear. Really, that's what it is. For fear they'll be ostracized. Either that or they're just cowardly. Cowardly they don't want to challenge the system. I think they're afraid of what they're going to find out, Johnson. I think they're afraid that they'll find out this whole town needs an enema. Get a load of me. I think that's it, but we'll see what it is. I think we're near the end of this. Anybody else out there got questions about the vaccine stuff? What's going on with HHS? We'll see what they're doing, man. Like I said, we all know we're not doctors, but we know when something ain't right.
Spent 2.5 hours.
RFK Jr. is a vaccine skeptic. He pushes lies about vaccines. And I don't even think if Republicans...
Why do you think he pushes lies? Why you said,
I don't know why
you said I'm not a scientist and you aren't. So
yeah, but
he just wants
scientists
data.
say he pushes lies.
Oh,
Look at that. Isn't that pathetic? And she's got a job. She's got a job, Johnson. She said he pushes lies right after saying we neither one of us a doctor, so we can't determine these things. And then she then calls RFK Jr. a liar. But I thought you just said you weren't a doctor. You couldn't question things. Then why are you questioning him? You don't know if he's a liar or not. Just said you don't know anything. We get this right. You don't know how to drive a car, but you're telling me I'm driving it wrong? How do you know I'm driving it wrong if you don't know how to drive? Duh. Yo, man, we got problems.
Just were paid to say he pushes lies. I mean, let's give him the data. I think it'd be pretty cool to give him the data. Let's see what he comes up with.
Okay.
I think it's pretty fun.
He pushed conspiracies about COVID. He had to apologize for...
Look, she got talking points. What'd I tell you? That's what she wanted to do, is read that list of talking points to prepare remarks given to her by her studio. That's what she's there to do. And she's so flabbergasted, she don't even remember what she wrote down, what's written on that paper.
Tying vaccine questions to what happened in Germany during the Holocaust.
I promise you, I have not looked at all the things he said.
So I don't think he's the leading voice that anyone's looking at for
he said Roundup. Remember Roundup?
But you're saying he would not be in charge of HHS?
No, of course not.
Okay, so he's not going to be like an acting...
He's not going to be the secretary? No.
Well, he couldn't get confirmed, but would he be in an acting position or anything like that?
I just told you what he wants. He wants to help get data.
You're saying he wants access to data, but that would be...
He just wants data, and he wants to prove things are wrong. And he says, if I can't prove they're wrong, that's fine. But if I can save millions of Americans' lives and make their lives better. And I think that's pretty cool.
I'm not sure any
he's
data...
just trying to do it.
I don't think any data would back that up.
Next on deck with Tim.
That is funny. He ended up getting that job, though. Isn't that funny? That's hilarious. This guy was full of it. It's funny, though. He came on there. I saw him sitting right behind Donald Trump at the press conference. Sitting right there like this in the shadow, like this. It's hilarious, man. So funny, guys. Hit the like button if you like that segment. I do. I think that's a funny segment. I mean, it's scary. In fact, it's horrifying beyond belief, but it's still funny. It's funny to see them talk as if we can't hear them talk. She was saying things as if, I don't know, that she wasn't on a TV station, like that it wasn't being recorded, that it wasn't going to air in front of people. It's just crazy. That was crazy. What do you think? What do you guys think? Anything? There it is. RFK is skeptical of untested vaccines. Shouldn't we all be? What's up, BC Survivor? I just realized, BC Survivor. Hey, sister. Good to see you, sister. Shouldn't we all be skeptical of things that haven't been tested if people don't want you to hold them accountable for them? So they have no liability. You realize there's a liability in pretty much everything you touch, everything you buy. You go to a restaurant, get sick off their food, it can be held liable. You know how many people they serve food to that day? There'll be certain standards to them at. Not our vaccines. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, Johnson. Like, I don't want to become one of those channels because, like I said, I know I'm not a doctor, and I'm not giving anybody any doctor's advice. And I think they still censor us for even having this conversation. But I just thought, what the hell? Screw them. This is important. This is about our lives. And I love you, and I love you and your children. I know you want to be here for them as much as I do. Be here for mine. She's a straight up white liberal activist. She's a straight up something. She really is. That was horrible, Johnson. All right, fam. Oops, I don't know where we're going here, but let's keep going.
Further, what they have said is that we need to not worry about manufacturing in America because what we should establish is a policy of unfettered free trade. We don't need tariffs. What we need is to allow corporate America the freedom to throw American workers out on the street, people who are making 15, 20, 25 bucks an hour, healthcare, pensions, throw them out on the street because somehow, Madam President, we are going to create wealth in America and good paying jobs in America as we shut down plants. We move to China, corporations there pay workers 20, 30 cents an hour, and we bring the product back into this country.
If you don't know about that, this is Bernie Sanders back in '08 when he was in favor of tariffs and wanted to end those bad trade agreements. And this is the Bernie that everyone was telling me about, that I didn't know about in 2008. When the Democrats were fooling us with the shiny Barack Obama. Yeah, this is right that time. Right? So when the Democrats were fooling us with Obama, there was a Bernie Sanders talking real stuff right here about these things. And this is the old Bernie, because the new Bernie would never say this now. Tariffs are evil. Yeah, and then I don't know what he thinks about trade agreements now, but he used to think our trade agreements moved all of our jobs overseas. That's before they got him. Yeah, it's before they got him. But you know what? I don't know if you even know if they got him as much as he may have gave up. It just folded right into the system, I think that happens sometimes. People, they fight to get fighting, and they just go, oh boy, okay, whatever. And they become the thing they hate.
And anyone who goes shopping in a mall knows how difficult it is today to find the product made in America. But that is the philosophy. And I have to say, in that regard, the champion, and he is honest on this one. Senator McCain has been criticized recently for not being the most honest candidate we have seen in terms of his ads and so forth. He has been honest on this one. He is the lead advocate of unfettered free trade. And that's an also important part of this right-wing ideology, that it is good for America that corporations can go to China and bring products back into this country.
Always confuse me when they say that because, Democrats were championing free trade too, like NAFTA. That's Clinton, right? Am I tripping? It was Clinton. So Bernie was saying, one hand he's saying stuff, but, like this trade agreements with Democrats' names on them, you had to know that, Bernie. Bernie knew that. Why wasn't Bernie calling out the Democrats? He's an independent, right? Yeah, I said something the other day. I put out a tweet about it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought it was a positive tweet that should have did well. And every time I click on my Twitter, it tries to get me to boost it. I'm not paying the people to see that. But anyway, I said something like, if you voted for Hillary and for Biden, you're a Democrat. Stop calling yourself an independent. Just stop. Just cut it out. You voted for vote for them, and you're still calling yourself an independent? Like, just put a fork in it, man. You're done. At least flip over on the other side. Get both sides done, because one side of you is done. The other side of you is delusional. We got people that voted for both of them and call themselves independent. I tend to get people a break on Obama, at least one break on Obama. Like, yeah, there should be rules. No, if you voted for him twice, that's the problem. You weren't paying attention. But, if you're black, I give you a pass. Because, it's been 46 presidents, 47, and only one of them has been half black, so that we know of. People keep telling me that Jefferson or somebody was half black. I don't know. Like a quarter, or Abraham Lincoln had a third. I don't know. So I'll keep hearing these things. But the point is that there's been horrible trade that hurt America. It was pretty much everything that you could buy was made in China, like entire country. That was all done by politicians Republicans and Democrats worked on that to get that done, Johnson. Yeah. I mean, if you're Generation X like me, you came up with the last sightings of things that were mostly made in America. And during our lifetime, during our progression, our maturation, we saw that change, didn't we? We saw things go from American to China. We saw the switch. That was all. It didn't just happen. It wasn't organic.
Next on deck with Tim.
All right, that was it. That was a short clip. It's difficult watching these types of clips when people that had one stance and they were firm on the stance. Bernie was firm in his stance. He was solidified. He said it with his chest. And now he's saying a whole different thing. Now they're saying a whole different thing, Johnson. Now, I've been seeing that a lot lately, folks. Have you seen it? I've seen it. Oh no, we can't do this. No, this is crazy. Look back. Oh, you were championing for it. We need to cut. We need to trim the budget. We need to trim all these agencies. That was Obama. That was Clinton. Only president I didn't see talk about cutting back stuff was Biden. Every other president said America spent way too much money for stuff via the government. Every other president except Biden. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Hit the like button if this makes any sense. Oh, no. Oh, no, man. Sometimes this is rough, isn't it? I'm going to go to comments for a second, man. Who's in my comment section? Yeah, Chris Cooler. Chris Curriton called him a phony. That could be for me, but I don't think it is. But I think it's for Bernie. I think it's for Bernie. Particularly when they know better. Everyone knows better, though. That's the thing about it. You say, look, if they know better, then I'm going to hold them accountable and I'm going to treat them accordingly. But you know, all of them know better. They all know better. And if they don't know better, they're unqualified to do their jobs. If they don't know better, if they don't realize that what they're doing is bogus, then they're too stupid to be there. Know what I'm saying? There's no way to hide, is what I'm saying. There's no way to slither out of this. Either you're a part of it or you're too stupid. Yeah, either you're a part of it, and I'm talking about the politicians. I'm not, when I'm critical, I try not to be critical of us because most of us are caught on the treadmill called trying to live indoors and die on a mattress. You know what I'm saying? We're all caught on the treadmill. So I'm not trying to blame the average Joe citizen. That's crazy talk. Sometimes we get caught up on that. We get caught up in that foolishness when we blame one another, when all of us, we're all the victims of this. Guys. Listen guys, even the most cockamamie goofball is saying the most backward thing on social media. Remember, they are a victim. They're a victim of the programming that was put into their heads by the propaganda machine. They may be offensive, it may take everything in you, and you might not be able to do it all the time. Lord knows I'm not. But you need to pause. Let me just remind you, take a beat, and remember, they are a victim. And once upon a time, you were too. Once upon a time, you believed some god-awful nonsense. And you would stand on it and be loud and wrong. Hey, look, you know what's worse? Hey, man. Hey, at least when you were loud and wrong, there's no recorded material of it. I was standing on stuff 5 years ago. Look back like, oh, God. I was saying it with my chest. I haven't taken those videos down, man. Let it be. Let the record show. When the lights come on, the lights come on. Your job to keep them on. You can't unknow what you now know. So just want a little bit of grace for the record, for the working people, for the people, when I say working people, the people not a part of the system like that. You know, the people that don't know, they've been lied to, they've been told. You know, they get so many hours in a day. It's people's jobs. They want companies and their jobs, and they put out content, they put out propaganda constantly. Our system constantly puts out pieces of propaganda to fool the masses. Millions of dollars are spent to get you to have the wrong understanding of what's going on in your world and in the greater world, the wider world as well. And what do? We eat each other up about it. It's sickening. It really is. Oh, well, let's move on to the next video. What's next? Hit the like button. Let's keep it going, Johnson. Here on the Tim Black Show, we try to be a remedy for it. At least we try to mitigate it.
Tim Black.
And so should his advisors. I mean, talk about a big cover-up. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Donald Trump lately. I just want to ask a simple question. Who in the heck was running the country? If the president's mental acuity was in question and some days he's on and some days he's off, was the guy really capable of doing the job day to day? I honestly really question that. And I think a lot of Democrats who said at the time, oh, Joe Biden is the fittest guy in the world. He could do backflips. He could jump into the pool, run marathons, do 100 push-ups. When every freaking person who saw Joe Biden said, there's no in hell this guy is physically fit. But they told us, don't believe your lying eyes because we're with him every single day. That wasn't true.
One more piece,
it wasn't true.
Just so people understand it.
Next.
Yo, man, I didn't know Shamichael Singleton. I didn't know this guy he was right there to be Department of HUD secretary. He was like right there. He was working with the Department of Housing, Urban and Development. And he was like really moving up in the Republican National Committee and the GOP and these things. And I think he was like almost like it was like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. I don't know what position he was going to get, but he was working in the office. And then they said, you got to get out of here. And they went and got security and threw him out because they found where he wrote an op-ed, I think it was for The Hill, back in 2015 or something, or 14. And it was critical of Donald Trump. Donald Trump says, you got to get this guy out of here. Get him out. I don't want him working for me. I've never heard Shamichael Singleton make this statement. Never heard him talk about it. But I ran across it. I mean, hey, look, I get it, man. I mean, if I was going to hire people that work for me, I probably wouldn't want people that ran my name down and dogged me out or wrote something, made me look really horrible, said I was a scourge upon the GOP, that I was holding at ransom. But on the same token, I mean, Jesus, kind of tough to do that to a young guy. He was like in his 20s. But it's good to see Shamichael come back because he's one of the only reasons why I find CNN tolerable. And when I found it tolerable, it's because Shamichael Singleton is talking. And he's making reasonable debates like this, arguments that make sense, not those wrapped in GOP talking points. A very basic thing. And they got books out. There's a book out. We're going to cover it later on. Democrats knew very well what was going on. They all knew. All of them were in on it. The American people weren't in on it. American people were not in on how bad Joe Biden was. But they knew, and they kept lying to us about it. And those same people have been calling Trump supporters all kinds of names because they didn't go against Trump. But they let Biden be incompetent to serve duty. And they lied and ignored it. And now questions are being asked like, who was the president? Because the damn sure wasn't that guy. Biden was not the president. He sat in the seat when the cameras were on. But after that, it was president by committee. You ever heard the term shadow government? That's what we had. We had a shadow government. We had somebody else running the Oval Office, running the White House, running the country. Wasn't Joe Biden. I appreciate you, Michael Singleton, and one of the few. And I'm so glad I'm out of the echo chamber of believing the nonsense that, Democrats good. Well, I knew Democrats weren't good, but that Republicans bad, evil, and some are. Some are, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, some are evil. But some of the Democrats are evil too. But it's good to have people that I think who have a center. It's not full of bats, bat guts and crucifixes. And you know what I'm saying? It's good to have somebody who's, not demonically possessed with sending everything over to China and raping and pillaging and leaving the poor working people to starve to death. It's kind of good to have people that don't look at it that way. Anyway, that's good stuff. Give it up for that. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. You guys ready for the next one? Let's see what else is here. We got a couple more things on our radar. Remember to support this channel, to become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack, get behind-the-scenes footage, and all that good stuff. You get all my content. I got thousands of videos. You have full access to my library of content. Become a member, go to timblacktv.com or go to jointimblacktv.com. Pick up my mug at timblackmug.com. What do we got here, Joe? What do we got?
Next on deck with Tim Black.
This is one of those many cases now that we're encountering where the administration says they have evidence, they haven't presented it in court, it hasn't been adjudicated, people haven't had an opportunity to counter it. And I think that's the fundamental question here. I mean, this man's case is actually pretty convoluted. But are we in a place now where the administration just says, well, trust us, and we'll figure it out later, or maybe we won't?
What's happening now is, first of all, if you are an immigrant and you commit a crime, you should be deported after going through a fair process. That clearly didn't happen here. And what the Trump administration is turning us into is a lawless.
Why is she here? Why is she here?
A lawless regime that is disappearing people with no due process, with no fairness. Even people like this gentleman who there's no evidence that he was a member of a gang.
Not a good speaker, not a good anything. I don't know what it is. Oh, that's right. She took a lot of money from like AIPAC and other missed opportunity getting this one out of office. Jesus Christ.
Was he here
And
illegally?
they admitted.
It's not a crime.
And they
Was he here
admitted
illegally?
that they should not have sent him to the prison. Why can't they go get him? If he was mistakenly sent there, then he can be sent back. We're the ones that asked El Salvador to take these prisoners who were rounded up completely without a process. Some of them had TPS. Some of them had been through the parole program. You know, Nicole and I are on the same side when it comes to fighting the Castro regime, but yet we're seeing the Trump regime basically disappear people because they're not able to deport people.
Listen to this crowd, what she just said. It's just called Trump Castro. What is Biden? Yeah, what is that? Oh, you can't bring that up. Tell me you're doing a whataboutism, but I'm just saying, it just sounds so stupid. You know, it just sounds. She's a moron, man. What? But okay, she gets to be a moron. Let's have a conversation about the deportations, man. Let's be open and honest right now about them. Here it goes, guys. We're about to get into this. Picard's going to say a lot of things that are disagreeable. But at the core, before we even play the rest of it, I'm going to put my cards on the table with all of you, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about it. You can let me know what you think, and let me have it in the comments section. If you come to America, you don't go through the process. If you don't go through the process of doing so legally, you might get deported. And you don't know when it's going to happen or if it ever is going to happen. It may never happen. It may never come to pass. It's like driving drunk or driving without a license or anything else you do illegally in this country. People do illegal stuff all the time in this country. And there's always an opportunity or a possibility that you will lose everything because of it. And nobody bars us from the reality of that happening. You can be 25 years old, 2 kids, wife, trying to get your life straight. Mess around, get a few tickets double, triple, then your license is suspended. You got a new job, you're working a new job. Trying to get out the hood, trying to keep your life straight, trying to cut yourself off from the bad friends, the former friends that are doing who knows what, trying to do the right thing, put a ring on the wife's finger, life is looking good, got the money, the down payment, she just moved into a new apartment, and then, whoop, behind you the feds, pull you over, and just like that, you're driving on suspended license, they lock you up. Unable to make bail, all your money's tied up, got no money for bail. Lose your job, lose your wife. Well, she don't, she's pissed off at you. Maybe you don't lose her, but. When you go in front of the judge and say, Judge, hey, no one cries a tear for you. You're an American citizen, but you screwed up. You did the wrong thing. You did something that was against the law to do. Oh, it's not a crime, but it's against the law. Picard's going to make the argument that it's not against the law. Well, it's not a crime to be in a country illegally. Yeah, it's not a crime to drive with an unsuspended license, but driving on an unsuspended license can cause you to go to jail. It can't get you deported because you are a citizen. But sorry, sellers, Sakari Bellers. So all I'm saying is, I'm consistent, man. If we're gonna let Americans lose their children, happens every day in America, man. Children are separated from their children. Parents are separated from their children every day in America. No one bats an eye, no one cries, no one says shit. There are no PBS specials. There's no AOC crying at the gates of the juvenile detention centers or at the foster homes. Nothing. Not a damn thing going on. It just happens. It's quiet like a church mouse TTing on cotton. No one even notices, doesn't. If a family is separated in the forest, did they really get separated if no one hears it? Happens every day. We're gonna hear this. Oh man, looks like an unconscionable thing happened. That's horrible, man. And I said, if you deport somebody and they were legally here, or you deport somebody, particularly to the El Salvadorian prison, to a country they never even lived in, Jesus Christ, ay caramba. Well, that's very much unfortunate. That should not have happened. And they need to fix whatever system that allowed that major screw up to happen. But if I'm going to feel bad for someone, I'm going to start here in America with all the blacks who are hunted constantly to help fuel the BS towns in the local jurisdiction that hunt them like gazelles, like wildebeest hunting gazelles in their Serengeti to fund their shitty towns like they did in Ferguson and in so many other towns across this country. You ever been to Bourbon Heights? You ever been to Greenbelt, Maryland? and all the little shitty towns, Edmonston, all these little shitty towns in Maryland that have cops just post up waiting to see a black kid or a young black man wearing a baseball cap or fitted. Just waiting to pull them over. Any type of car that doesn't look brand new off the lot. So this is what happens. And you know how many of those people that they pull over end up in the system for whatever stupid little thing, can't make bail, end up separated from their families. So we're going to play this. What I hate, when I say hate, that's not even showing up for what I detest. What I detest is sanctimonious jackasses like Bakari dwellers who's going to make a big show of it for immigrants. He doesn't do that for Americans, and I just laid it out for you, man. This happens all the time. You know how many black folks, you know how many poor folks, you know how many white folks, black folks, Latino folks, Asian folks, American citizens who pay into this system who can't make bail, who are sitting, hell, man, like 70% of the people in jail haven't been convicted of anything in America. We need to put them through due process, as if our process is any good. Like, I hear you talking. We need to put them through the due process. We got to give them the due process. Really? You mean a process where people basically strangled and choked, have a revolver put to their head and spun it and said, hey, you need to take this plea bargain, cop this, cop out, or get max time. You're feeling lucky, punk? That's our process. I mean, for us, that's the process. It's just so obviously that these people are batting for the other side. It's just so obvious. And when I say side, I don't mean Republicans or Democrats. I mean, not us. Whatever the elites want, whatever the powerful people want, whatever the people that run this god-awful system want, those are the people that they're batting for, not us. Okay? At some point, we had to wrap our head around the fact, white people got to wrap their head around the fact that when I say not us, they need to recognize they're included in the us. And stop letting the separation be us, black and white, when it's the system and these people that run the system. Bakari Sellers and the others on this panel, save for that one sister in here, when it becomes tantamount to Castro policies to treat foreign nationals or potential terrorists or potential gang members or whatever they were, I don't know. But that's considered Castro-like treatment, when that's the same treatment we get every day in this country. So we're going to play this. We're going to play it. At some point, we got to open our eyes and see what's being done here. It's a big game being run against us all. And all I'm saying is we either wake up now and deal with it or forever be subjected to it. We're being toyed with. So, Jim, how do you feel about deportations? I feel like we should need them because we should have a border that works. But I do feel, just like any other brother going to the store to pick up milk, who can get carded, patted down, stopped and frisked, whatever, which is what happens all the damn time. And now, but if it's a person who's not an American citizen, who's brown, it's something else. Like what it's. We've been doing this in America since day one. What are you talking about? I don't understand. You want people to get treated like Americans who aren't American, and you want them to be treated better than Americans. That's what that reminds me about Cory Booker. Cory Booker was a big stop in Frisco when he was the mayor of Newark. When he was the mayor of Newark, he instituted stop and frisk policies, trying to copy Bloomberg, or was it Giuliani? Now he's a hero. Same guy who voted against letting us have the same damn pharmaceuticals that they got in Canada that are a fifth of the price. He voted against it. It was taking money. But I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Forget that. Scratch that from the record. Let's go back to this. Just, ooh, Cory. It just makes me sick. You know? Makes me sick, the dumb. You know? But once again, Tim, they do not know what they do. They do not, they've been the propaganda. All right. Let's go. Let's get back to it. I'm sorry. Let's go. So back to the deportations. Let's listen to them make this big whoop-de-doo. It's all political, man. It's posturing. That's all it is. I wonder what's in those coffee cups. Blood of black babies. Could be. Might as well be.
Well, that's actually offensive, number one. Let's not compare President Trump to Castro regime,
when
number
you're
one.
deporting people without a process.
That's going to be very bad for you when you go back to Florida and you got to face your constituents.
Very
for trying
confident
to compare
that
Trump
my
to
constituents
Castro.
don't want people
That is
deported
insane.
without a lawful process.
Okay. First of all, was the
That's what
guy here
happens in
legally?
Cuba.
Was he here legally?
He was.
He was here legally.
Yes.
Okay, so you had one individual. If
Who
he
is
was
now
here
in an
legally,
El
I don't
Salvador
know what his
prison.
status is. If it was a mistake, think about all the mistakes that the Biden administration made. That they'd made, allowed millions of people to come into this country unvetted, and that ended up killing. We had rape. We had all sorts of crime, drug trafficking, Lake and
not what
Riley.
happened
No.
here.
But Congresswoman,
These are people that Joe Biden let in through his policies.
They were rounded up.
And you're going to criticize the mistake of somebody who is deported?
Respectfully, that is the definition of gaslighting. Because what we're
it's
saying
not.
is all five of us on this set tonight can look you in the eye and say that if you committed any of those crimes, then you should be deported immediately. You should serve your sentence and go home immediately.
Yes, but they were let in.
I'm
That's the bottom line. You're more concerned about the one guy that was deported than the millions of people that were let in illegally that went on to wreak havoc in cities like mine.
First of all, I would love an argument that I would love an argument that wasn't subject verb Joe Biden. That's first. Second,
Well, I mean, he's the one who let him in. What do you want me to do?
Second, what we need here is an immigration process.
You know, Bakar didn't say shit when Biden was letting all those people in the country. You know, it happened over a 3.5 year period. You didn't tell me this guy didn't know that was going on. He didn't give a shit. He didn't care. He's a bought and paid for sellout of the Democratic Party, of the regime. That's all he is. And now he's got a whole lot to say because some of the people that Joe Biden let in, Trump's letting them out or putting them out.
Process where we have, I think it's 4 million people who've already been adjudicated, slightly less than 4 million people who we can round up and deport today. Those people who committed crimes. That's second. Third, being in this country legally, you know what? It's not a crime. You know who said that? The United States Supreme Court. There has to be a due process element to this. There simply does. And so for individuals like this gentleman right here, who's a father, I'm not going to sit here and die on a hill and say whether or not he was MS-13 or not. I'm not trying to be on Fox News or Fox and 5 in the morning because I simply don't know the answer to that question. But what I will say is that he deserved a right of due.
Being in the country without due process, being in the country without going through the proper steps, being here unlawfully present in this country is not a crime, but it is a civil violation that can lead to deportation, but not criminal prosecution. You don't get prosecuted, you get deported. I don't know if there's a distinction without a difference or not, but I feel like it is because you can deport somebody for being here illegally. They are here illegally. They are here illegally. How many years do you go to jail? If that's what you mean, there's no statutory length of time for the first time that you're caught here being illegally here or unlawfully present. And that distinction doesn't automatically resolve the problems that we have with the immigration issue either, Bakari Sellers. All it does is exacerbate a problem that's been growing. And I fought the Supreme Court for that stupid statement because it is stupid.
Process so that we can properly adjudicate that. But I'm not going to let you gaslight me or the rest of this audience. I'm not done. I'm going to finish the sentence and say that I'm sitting here advocating for people.
So hold on one second, because I do think I want to settle us on the actual issue here, because I think what he's asking, I don't think it takes anything away from what you're saying, that people who are criminals should be kicked out of the country. But why does that have to happen without due process?
What I'm trying to say.
I want to ask a question. What kind of process do you think is supposed to happen? What's the process that's supposed to happen here? What process are you looking for them to get? I mean, I wish I could ask her what would you deem the process that we should take? Will they go to court? You mean the people that are supposed to go to court to begin with? Like, I don't understand exactly what you mean. You know, if you come to most of the people that come to this country to here illegally were given the time to come to a court to determine if they're going to get amnesty. Right? That's the whole purpose, right? They got to have a reason for coming here. Right? So if you come in with a reason of going to amnesty, then you get your date. And that's how Biden got this, how we got here. Instead of Biden saying, okay, you came, you applied, we got your paperwork, we'll be in touch. Instead of saying, go back to Mexico and wait until you find out your date to come to court, Biden let them stay in America and wait. And that wait time could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Who knows how long that's going to be. So when they're talking about the immigration system is broke, folks, that's what they're referring to, is that. But see, the difference between Biden and Trump was one simple thing, which was he had wait in Mexico. Okay, you come here, you apply for amnesty. You apply, we got your paperwork. Go back to Mexico and we'll let you know when your trial date is so that you can return and go to trial. That changed, that made a humongous difference in the amount of people that came here across that border who stayed. So that's what they're referring to. Civil violation that could lead to deportation. And that's what we are talking about. We're not talking about people going to jail here. We're talking about people being deported.
Is these guys are so outraged that one individual, whether he's here legally or not, we don't even know. Yes, it was a mistake, and it's terrible. If he was here legally and he was deported, that was wrong, and it was a mistake.
None of
them.
But
look at all the people that were allowed to come in under the previous administration that were wreaking havoc in my city. I'm sorry, we had a murderer from Dominican Republic that was caught. You had another murderer in upstate New York that was caught on the street, walking around freely. We had drug traffickers, gang members.
None of them care because none of their family's been touched by any of it. But if your family is touched by any of it, you feel different. That's it. Case closed, face closed. They don't care because it's not them. As long as it's not them, it's not their family, no one that they love. It's a fun thing. It's a fun. We need somebody to, they're still saying that dumb shit. We need somebody to pick the fruit. You know, there are machines to pick fruit, Goofy. Get a YouTube account and go to YouTube. Hell, you don't even need an account. You gotta be a visitor. Go see the machine knock the apples into the thing, dummy.
All sorts of stuff.
I don't know that this is like a degree of outrage that is like greater than the outrage about those things. Because I do think that the question that is being asked here is whether there is a systematic effort to evade due process, which is, I mean, if you think about it, right, there are crimes that are committed. There's a process for convicting people and kicking them out. The Constitution allows people to have due process. And when you throw that out the window, then suddenly you're undermining more than just the statute. You're undermining the Constitution.
I wonder if you're undermining the safety of American citizens by having people in this country, and by the millions, who haven't gone through any vetting process. And I wonder, why aren't you concerned about that? But I'm gonna go ahead and leave it to the Tim Black Wolfpack to have their say about it, man. I know there's gonna be a lot of different opinions about it. Hey, look, man. Hey, I'm advocating for Black America, and I can tell you right now, I don't find this helpful. The immigration policy that was adopted by the Biden administration that Democrats were silent about, that 99% of Democrats were silent about, and 100% of corporate media liberals were silent about for 3.5 years. And when they did start talking about it, was only to throw Donald Trump under the bus and blame him for the Hail Mary of legislation that Biden tried to pass at the bottom of the ninth, at the top of the ninth inning, to save his run or his prospects of a run for re-election, after sitting on his hands intentionally for 3.5 years and letting in the largest amount of illegal immigration in this nation's history. And we got Black Americans sitting on a panel defending that. You know, it's bad. You know, it's bad when and I'm not even know these are good people, but people get swept up in drug raids and seizures and stuff, all types of stuff all the time from out of the police departments. Yeah, I used to believe all this ICE boogeyman stuff too. I used to believe it. Then I started looking at start comparing ICE to regular police. It's like, about the same. You know, it's just there are people with a battery in their back for some reason, about halting deportations, who are not as enthused about halting like regular Americans getting locked up. It's just something that I can't abide it, man. I can't sit back and just let that be. I just can't do it. America's number one thing it's good at is locking up Americans, not deporting people or not locking up people, locking up foreign nationals. We are good at locking up American citizens. We do it better than any other country in the Western world. We're real good at that. All right, folks, let's keep going, man. Look, hit the like button if this makes any sense to you. Our goal today is 400 likes for the YouTube channel to try to get some algorithm love.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
You know the deal. Independent Black media stays unapologetic, raw, and real. Now you can wear the movement. From the Tim Black Wolfpack to the Cornbread Collection, we got gear for the real ones. For men, women, even the little ones. No weak threads, no weak messages. Rep the truth. Rep the movement. Hit up timblackpauls.com and grab yours today. Because cornbread ain't free. Wolfpack. All right, guys. Yeah, it's round 2 here on the Tim Black Show. We got a few more stories to go through. We like to get it going, man. At the top of this segment, we're gonna bring out. I got some clips I know you're gonna be excited to see, and we're gonna do that. Let's start by taking a look into our comment section and seeing what the people be talking about, because that's what this is all about. The people, my people. What's going on, y'all? Fellas can't vote, but they're trying to get illegals to vote. I don't see Cory. That could have been a part of Cory Booker's filibuster. I wonder if that was part of his filibuster, Lawrence. LJ, what do you want to guess? How much you want to bet that Cory Booker did not bring that up during his filibuster? You know, well, he talked for 25 hours. He talked for 25 hours. How much you want to bet he didn't bring that up? That American citizens who have felonies in some states can't vote. I don't know which states. I don't know if it's all states. I'm sure there's some states. But they're trying to make it so people that aren't American citizens can vote. I wonder if Bakari Sellers brought that up. And he didn't bring it up in the segment we just saw, which is about deportations. Of course he wouldn't, because he's an advocate for mass immigration, not black elevation. He isn't, Simone Sanders isn't, Joy Reid isn't, Don Lemon isn't. You can't name a single corporate news commentator that is a true advocate for black America. And see, what white people don't get, what my Asians don't get, and you're not mine, but you know, what Asian folks typically don't get. It could be some people that get it. In fact, I'm not going to say, because there are some people that get it. But by and large, most people don't understand what the issue is. The issue is these black people love to use their blackness, and they love jumping in front of cameras and ranting on occasion when a black man is shot by police. But that's not when we need you. When there are regular issues, day-to-day, bread and butter issues on the table, they are silent because there's no news push. There is no mandate by their party to elevate it. So they want to talk about black votes all the time, about the way black men vote. Well, you know, we're the most incarcerated people in the country, right? Black men. So if you really want a black man to vote and you're really upset about us not voting, or, you know, and complaining every 2 or 4 years, pulling your damn hair out, maybe you want to change the law so the, you know, people with felonies can vote, since you're a part of the country giving us all these felonies. But see, they already imported some new ninjas. But see, they won't talk about that. And every day, today, I saw so many people jumping up and down about Cory Booker's pointless, painful, pathetic porch pontificating. They were talking like this was amazing. This is going to change the history of America. What did he talk about? Did he talk about reparations? He talk about ending qualified immunity? Did he talk about felons having the right to vote? What did he talk about? Nothing that concerns us. But I got a feeling he talked about deportations, didn't he? Yeah, we know he did. We know he did. All right, guys. I tell you, folks. I tell you. I don't know what you said before this statement, Undisputed. I don't know what you said, fam, but I got a feeling it was a barn burner, you know what I'm saying? He said, own a gun. Whatever you said before that. Whatever you said before that, you know, that's funny. I mean, I know it hit hard. Because if you end it, because I can't think of a sentence. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we should give everybody love and peace and, you know, be nice and work together and everybody be, you know, hold hands and own a gun. Like, I don't think those things go together. Oh, man. So I don't know what you said, Undisputed, but I got a feeling it was hardcore, man. And own a gun. You come into the sentence at the wrong time. I never been in Cleveland. Y'all ready, Johnson? Oh, keep it moving. He made history. Yeah, so did a guy who was driving a lawnmower with his feet. Yeah, it was a guy who drove a lawnmower with his feet during a snowstorm. while drinking a Pepsi. He set a record too. He made history. But that's about as effective what Cory Booker did. You know what's even worse than that, brother? Or sister? Sister, you know what's worse than that? S13, you got a rose. Thank you, sister, S13. What's worse than that are the four? I'm trying to give some grace. Can I give him some grace? My baby girl, she's 13, she said. Well, my oldest of my baby girls said, you got to give me some grace. You got to give me some grace. That's what the young people are saying now. Give me some grace, Papa. I got a rough day. You got to respect that too, man. You know what people say. Day is rough to her, you know? So I'm gonna give this person grace. This person that was on Twitter. He said, at least Cory Booker was trying. What have you done? You know, Cory Booker's a senator. You know that, right? Senators are supposed to pass laws. I live stream all the time. Now, I haven't live streamed 25 hours straight because I could. I mean, we could do a fundraiser. You know, I could do a fundraiser and do a live stream, 25-hour live stream. Do my own filibuster. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do a Timmerbuster, a Dimmerbuster. You know, come up with, name it something and spin off of it. I should have said that out loud. You know, it'd be like 5 different people want to try it now that I said that. Unoriginal assholes. But, yeah, like, Cory's supposed to be passing laws to make your life better. Not giving long speeches that do nothing more than entertain you by reciting Democratic Party stances that you already knew they had, that were ineffective and so unpopular, they got to be by the same guys twice. That's all he did. He recited Democratic Party policies that are failing policies that have them at a whopping 21% approval rating in the country. He didn't introduce new legislation. He didn't stop bad legislation from passing. He didn't even intend to. There wasn't even, he just talked. I do that. Now, we'll give you one thing, and I will say this one thing, and we're going to go back to the next video. We're going to play that. This is for all my B1 people. B1, know this. If Cory Booker would have had the temerity to go up there and say anything about reparations, anything about ending mass incarceration, anything about felons being able to vote, closing the racial wealth gap, anything that benefited us, them cameras would have been cutting off quick. They would have stopped the clock and somebody would have came and got his ass off stage. Know that. And he is such a trained mule. He knew not even to try it. That takes me back to having a conversation with a Republican operative. And I said, what happens, my brother? What happens? Why is that all these people, did they all get the memo not to fight for us? And he said, my brother, it's worse than that. They don't need to get the memo. They already know.
Wow. You know, Amy, we always look back in retrospect and think things were a certain way, just because it's the way the media at the time defined it. You know, I remember after Biden's shockingly bad presidential debate, That's when, like, the history books were starting, you could just see that was going to be the reason why he was pushed out of the race and he was doing badly. But I remember talking to a reporter 3 days before the before the debate, and we were talking about how Biden was starting to fall behind in Minnesota, that Virginia was getting really tight, uncomfortably tight, and Democrats were afraid Biden would even lose New Hampshire. These Democratic states were starting to go, sort of even. And we both said to each other, the funny thing is, like, no matter how Biden does in this debate, people are going to blame the debate for the way the polls are already breaking before the debate, right?
Yeah, exactly, Joe. And that's exactly why his advisors felt the need to jump in and kind of switch up the narrative. They knew they were looking at polling. He was looking at polling, and they knew that he was losing. And so they needed to do something, even though there was an advisor, Anita Dunn, who was against it at first. Nancy Pelosi went to Biden and said, you don't need to debate him. Why would you sink to Trump's level and debate him? So there were people who didn't want to debate him. And then, of course, they felt the need to. So there he was. But, we take you inside the book. And what's fascinating is that none of these leaders are gathered together. We have Nancy Pelosi sitting in her living room alone watching. We have Jim Clyburn, who John just mentioned, sitting alone having a drink. And meanwhile, as the debate is unfolding, their phones are blowing up.
Of everything they're saying, the only thing I truly believe that I trust is when they say Clyburn was sitting somewhere having a drink by himself. Yeah, I see that. I see that. I see him with a fifth of Johnny Walker Red, just, what was it, black or the double black? Which is the best one, the green? I don't know. I see that all day. Glenn Livett, I see it. That I buy that. That I buy.
And that is when everything unfolds and unravels from there, and the 24 days continue.
And so, Jonathan, in some ways, the debate that night spilled out into the open the concerns that a lot of Democrats had had privately about Joe Biden and his ability to carry out another term, and that he was slipping and all the other things that became apparent at the debate. So there has been reporting in the last several months from a lot of people and saying, I told you so, and Democrats in January of 2023 privately talking about encouraging him not to run for re-election. What did you find? How serious were those challenges internally among Democrats? And was it because they thought he was simply too old?
So the challenges were not articulated that much. There was some of that, right? The Biden White House got polling from Steve Shale down in Florida that basically said the age issue is almost insurmountable for Biden, and Shale's a longtime Biden supporter. Somebody tried to get him into the race in 2016. It was, that was out of love, not out of spite. But I think, I would just say, in addition to that, people thought this was a five-alarm fire. Some of the people thought this was a five-alarm fire. Most voters, most donors did. For some of the leadership of the Democratic Party, the debate was an opportunity to try to move Joe Biden out, which they'd wanted to do. And just one last thing I would say. In this book, I think what Democrats are going to find, what independents are going to find, and what some Republicans are going to find is what the next election looks like, what 2028 looks like, what they need to look for in their leaders, and what they need to demand from politicians in order to get an honest assessment of what's going on. I think most voters didn't know where that race stood when the debate happened, and they were told over and over and over again that Kamala Harris was poised to win at the end, and they were shocked when that wasn't the case.
Next.
Yeah, that's part of the problem they got right now, is that they've been lying to their constituents so much. I think part of what has the number so badly for the Democratic Party is that Democrats realize they were lied to. The ones that are paying any attention to this, they realize they were lied to about not only Biden. There are people that literally didn't know Kamala was stinking it up as bad as they brought in too the nonsense of Kamala's looking really strong, and it looks like she's going to be able to turn this out. Wow, they played with the minds and the hearts, dreams And that's why I wonder why black women are even sitting for it, man. So that's part of the reason why they're doing so badly nationally. People don't like being lied to. They don't like people toying with their emotions. And that's what they did with this Kamala run. So Biden was already dead in the water before the debate. He did the debate as a Hail Mary and stunk it up even worse. Then they put in Kamala, and we're going to get into that a little bit later about all the hesitation even putting her in. Nobody wanted her except Biden to stick it to him because he felt, I still got it. I still got it. You don't let me run, you ain't black. Listen here, fat, if you don't let me run. And I think the Democrats are getting what they deserve, and it's my job. It's my job to help black people get out of the burning building, which is the Democratic Party. And I am what you call a Democrat Party hater. I wear that proudly. Very proud to wear that title. I gave it to myself. Hey, you just a hater, Tim Black. Exactly. What's not to hate?
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Look, guys, we live in a country where...
What is in your hair? Mr. Talking Point, super exaggeration. This guy has a lot of talking points, got a lot of exaggerating and just jump out the gym, just make up, just... All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Ellie Mistel. All right, Ellie. Go.
You can get snatched up off the street for writing an article in the newspaper.
Oh, here we go. Because journalists are being snatched up off the street everywhere we go. Oh, no, just that one journalist. Oh, okay. Why? Yo, if you're a friend of that journalist that got snatched up and deported or whatever, what happened to that guy? I don't know what happened to him. Maybe Elliot tells, because I really don't know what happened to him. We'll talk. I don't know what happened to him. I'm too busy worried about black people getting snatched up off the street, which happens every day. But Ellie couldn't be concerned with that. Can't sell a book talking about black people. If you wrote a book talking about black people being snatched up off the street, well, we already got that book. It's called The New Jim Crow. Elliot hasn't written The New Jim Crow. He wrote The New Juan Crow. Or The New LGBTQ Crow. But then if you go at him, you got anything to say, he'll start saying, I'm black. Not fighting for the damn thing they got to do anything with black people. Yeah, it sucks being kicked out of a country you weren't born in, that you've been trashing incessantly. I mean, the whole world has turned into that chick that got laid off. They got fired at TYT. A bunch of squatters, another squatter, come to a place, can leave at any time, instead wants to stay and complain the whole time about how everything runs. I don't get it. Leave. Like I always say, guys, people keep saying America, and it's got a lot of faults. America has many, many faults. I ain't got to tell you, and you damn sure ain't got to tell me how many faults America has. But when you start comparing it to some of the other countries, what they would do to dude, what they would do to him, when we start, because all I've been hearing is guys like Ellie Mistel talk about how Trump is Mussolini and Hitler and now Castro. Well, you know what those presidents would do to a person who was not an American citizen, who was trashing the hell out of America and leading rallies, dumping on America. You know what they would do if he was another country and he was doing that to that in those countries? You know, the ones you keep comparing Trump to and saying he's just like these people? Well, they do different things than we do, don't they? When we gonna stop being gaslit by liars? At some point, you just gotta say, hey, Ellie, walking diabetes, calm it down. Stop with the gaslighting. You got a book deal. You write for the nation. Pathetic rag of gaslighters. Great. Stop wrapping yourself in blackness while you fight for everything besides black people. Okay? I'm tired of it. Oh, you can get snatched off the streets. Now he goes. I mean, listen to him. It's ridiculous. That's not happening.
Look, guys, we live in a country where you can get snatched up off the street for writing an article in the newspaper. And as a person who writes articles in newspapers, this is something that has really worried me and really changed and affected how I think about my job and my life. And
you know what? We can all say exactly what he said. Let's go the other way. We can all say exactly what he just said. Well, we can say it this way. If you are a woman at college, what was Laken Riley? Was she a college student who wants to go out for a jog? You know where I'm going with this one? Ellie Mistel. What happened to her, Ellie? Cat got a tongueth? No way speaking English? Huh? Cállate la boca? Huh? Shutteth the fucketh. These guys just gaslighters, man. That's all they do. Gaslight.
Can say, well, it only happened to green card holders. Yeah, now, so far, how long before it happens to me? I'm an American, so I was born in Queens, right?
Oh, this guy, now he's talking about he's afraid because he writes stuff. Oh, no. You know what? If you wrote anything that was actually revolutionary, that wasn't just anti-Trump bile, maybe you would have something to be afraid of. What an anti-revolutionary jackass. He's talking about the shit he writes? You talking about what you write, dude? It's gonna get you snatched. First of all, it'll take a crane to snatch your big ass off the streets. Second of all, ain't enough donuts to lure you from off the streets. Third of all, you don't write anything that will make anybody want to come after you. The only reason why you're selling books is because you have a platform. That's it. Like other people. The algorithm likes you. You're being pushed, the algorithm likes you. That's all it is. It's not because you're talented. A lot of people without talent getting platforms and having a lot of viewership. Not really good at anything. Not amazing. Not talented. Can't rock a show. Can't rock a book. And the topics you talk about are boring. And you ain't trying to change America. You're just trying to make people more comfortable within it. The way it is. You're not really. You're fighting for the Democrats. That's not really changing America. It's just red team, blue team. That's all it is. We talk about upending the system, bro. I use that term loosely.
But how long?
Really?
Huh?
What part of Queens?
Flushing. I was close enough to Shay that you could hear the stadium. Like,
what high school did you go to? I'm just curious.
Well, then I moved to Long Island, and I went to Friends Academy, which is like a private Quaker school.
Mm-hmm.
You went to a private Quaker school. Yeah, who didn't see that one coming?
England Cove. Kind of as my parents made more money, we moved further and further.
That's how it works in Queens.
Out on the island. Right. So as I think about my career, when I'm doing book events now, I have security.
Yeah.
You have security? You do?
Right. Which is not something I did for my first book. Right.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, because you're afraid of your safety, huh? Yeah, that's interesting. You know, they tried to kill the president twice. Who's trying to kill you, Ellie Mistel? Just asking questions, bro, because we know you like to talk a lot on Twitter and you go on CNN and MSNBC, Joy Reid's best friend. You know, just wondering. Yeah, I'm just wondering when they took a shot at your big ass, because I don't remember that happening, Ellie. So first you're gaslighting, talking about there's this guy who got snatched off the street who wrote stuff, who wasn't a citizen of the United States and was shitting all over America. Okay, that's not good. That's not proper. I'm not saying it's right. People get snatched off the street every day in America. You should be afraid of that in general. But not you, but I'm saying if you're a woman, for instance. You know you know who's the number one person getting snatched off the streets? Black women. And you didn't say shit about it. But now you care because it's a foreign dude that you politically can make noise about. What was the crazy thing? Like every 5 minutes, some crazy number, guys. I don't want to. I think it's every hour. I don't know. It's some crazy number of missing women and particularly missing black women. Okay. So this guy talking about getting snatched off the street. It just reeks of hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh no, the world is coming to an end. It's already coming to an end if you actually pulled your head out of your posterior. You know, that's all I'm saying. It's already. But see, he's only saying this because for the most part, Ellie Mistel, your life's pretty good, right? You know, it's just when you want to say, try to personalize it. Like, oh, you know, this could happen to me. I'm really concerned about it, guys. Try to be cool, fellas. You know what I'm saying, dogs? Nah, man. People are being disappeared off the street all the time, and they didn't write shit. Okay? That's happening. That's going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying any of it's right. But you're gaslighting like it's the end of the world. There's a snatching people all the time. If Trump really was as vindictive as you say, you be gone, Joy be gone, Don be gone, like all y'all be gone, yo. That's what I'm saying. We got people that know this. I'm just tired of you trying to scare everybody to run them back to the Democratic Party. Folks, if Donald Trump was as bad as they say, would he come get Joy Reid and come get Don Lemon and come get Rachel Maddow? Rachel Maddow was holding up his tax forms or some shit. I don't even know how she got them. Remember this? All I'm saying, if they keep saying he's the boogeyman, at some point, guys, we gotta say, you know what? The boy that cried wolf got ate by the wolf. And you know what? By the time you heard that story and you realized what happened to the boy that cried wolf, you didn't feel bad for him. And that's how I feel about the Democrats. That's how I feel about you, Ellie Mistel. I don't feel bad for you. Nothing even happened to you. You have a very cushy life. You're a millionaire who spreads propaganda on a daily basis. All of you. And all of you have lied and continued lies. And if you're continuing lies knowingly, and I know you did, most of you continue the elevator lie, the escalator lie. Trump came down the elevator and he said there was Nazis and good people or something stupid. And you know that was a lie. That's not what he said. He said, you know that's a lie. But you didn't speak up. You perpetuated the lie. Same what Obama perpetuated, and he perpetuated, and all the cable news media that allowed the lies to go. And all I'm saying is, folks, at some point, people got to get off the crazy bus. And they want to put more people on the crazy bus because that's all they got. All they can do is scare you and tell you the sky's falling. Meanwhile, they live in their nice, posh, 1 percenter existence, chilling, scaring the hell out of senior citizens, telling them their Social Security benefits are going away, all because they can't beat an orange man with a toupee and a spray tan and a few populist policies, because they suck so bad, so horribly. They are tied, they are connected by the brain, by the head, to a bunch of policies that are underwater by 60, 70 points. And they won't let them go. Like stupid shit like men playing in women's sports. Dumb things, stupid things. And now we got to hear about the death of a salesman.
When I write, I think about like how when I write about Musk, especially because he's the one with so much power, I write very.
Musk is the one with so much power. Really, he is. He's the one with so much power. You know, you're a liar. You know.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
What do you say to people saying that Trump played a role in the DOJ dropping the case? Because it's like it kind of looked like you went
the timing
to
does seem,
and then all of a sudden
he had your back at that Catholic.
Yo, man, I'm looking at Eric Adams, man. New York City Mayor Eric Adams just had his charges dropped, and someone needs to ask him what he's doing next. He would say he's going to Walt Disney World. He's going to Disney World, but I think he's also going to war. Yeah, I think he's going to war with them Democrats and the entire system that came for him. He's got a battery in his backpack for real, Johnson. His guy's lit.
Yeah. He was like,
and I'm glad
it's
you said
wrong
that.
what they did. And I thought that was like a really interesting thing to even say. He said it kind of flippantly, which I thought was more effective, because he could have went and made a big deal of it. He was like, it's wrong what they're doing. And I've always wondered if he felt, and people are going to say we're apologizing for Trump or whatever, but I've always wondered if he felt like, oh, they're doing the same thing to him.
Come on, brother.
You tell me.
Come on. Listen, people say think this is what what those who have Trump derangement syndrome are saying. Because there's some folks. I'm not the type of cat that I respect the office. The presidency is in office. It's representative of our country. Presidents come and go, like mayors come and go.
You know, he sounds like he's full of shit right now. You know, dude, did Trump help you get out of jail or not? Or, avoid jail or whatever. Like, and if that's the case, why are you talking about you respect the office? The office didn't speak up for you. Trump did. So I want to hear that. That's what I want you to answer. This is not a civil rights moment. Just say the shit. Guys up here like he's Tony Robbins.
I'm a big believer. I'm a patriot. I believe in the American flag. My uncle died at.
Answer the question, Les Brown. This Les Brown's maybe bouncing baby boy, and I'm here to listen. You can do anything you want to do. You just gotta believe. No. Did Trump get you off? What did he do? That's what we want to know. That's why you're here. You're here to do one thing. You had one job. Answer the question.
19, defending this country. I wore a bulletproof vest for the city. My brother did as well. So I believe in the symbol of office. So I don't have to like who's in office. I respected Biden to the.
Oh, now that his ass is out of the hot oil, now here he goes. I don't have to like who's in office. So now he's implying that he don't like Trump.
Fullest extent. I respect the office. And so when President Trump was on the campaign trail, before he was elected. He was saying, look what they're doing to this mayor in New York. He said, this is wrong what they're doing to this mayor in New York. He never asked me for anything. I believe he personally saw what they did to it's one thing to do something to the individual, but when you start doing something to your family members, and I think there was something he saw, because out of everything he had on his campaign trail, he didn't have to come out on his campaign trail and say, this is wrong what they're doing to Eric. He did it at rallies. He did it the day before the election, when he's at Madison Square Garden, a few days before the election, on that Sunday. He said, look what they're doing to this man in New York. So there was never, they say, well, there was a quid pro quo. You are now trying to be hard on immigration. I said, show me what I said
that refutes
after he was elected that I wasn't saying before he was elected. The same things I was saying before he was elected. You commit a crime, you need to get out of our country.
Next on deck.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was saying, I don't know. He didn't, I don't think he just started talking about the immigration thing. He was talking about the budget in New York. I think they spent how many billions? Like, I have it somewhere. I covered the exact amount. I think it was like 6.1 billion or 5.9. 5.9 or 6.1. One of those. It's one of those odd numbers. It wasn't 6, right? But it was either a little bit over or a little bit under. But that's how much he spent on migrants. And it put a dent in a lot of social services that were going, public good services that will be afforded to the citizens of New York City. So that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And he got people breathing down his neck about it because they're like, very pissed off. And and he went to Biden like, yo, Biden, will you help? And Biden was like, get out of here, you bother me. Go back to New York. And he kept coming to D.C. trying to get help. And then they got tired of him making waves and complaining. He wouldn't fall in line. And then they sent the dogs on him. I mean, if you followed the story, you know the timeline. Now, I know there are people who are supposed to be independent who on the low work for Democrats. We know they do. And this is not that Eric Adams is a good guy or not. This is just about the timeline. What they do is this is how they do. They demonize anybody they don't like to the point where if you even say the truth about an issue, you get stigmatized by saying the truth. But see, I don't have that problem because I don't rock in those circles no more. I don't roll with those people. I don't tarry with those fools. Feel me? So it is what it is. But there are people going at Mayor Adams' neck on a number of issues, and some of those are very valid issues. But as for the weaponization of DOJ coming after him like they did when they did it, yeah, someone just said, hey, good, back this dude up. Remind him what it is before Brandon Johnson, because he was one of the only sanctuary state going through this. You know what I'm saying? New York wasn't the only city going through this. It was Chicago, it was New York, it was I think it's in Michigan or whatever. So like they had to all Detroit. They all had to it was black mayors who had to make a decision. So they made him an example of what can happen if you step out of line on Biden's immigration wet dream. Okay? That's what it was. And he stepped out of line. And he didn't think they was going to do him, and they flagged him. They did the equivalent of Full Metal Jacket. They put the soap in the sock, and they tied him down and put the sock over his mouth, and they all took a swing. And that's exactly what happened to him. Now, you can have your head in the ground or in the dirt if you want, and I know reality. Democrats play dirty pool all the time. They try to act like this is a Trump phenomenon. Anyway, let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going.
With Tim Black.
The sad part about it is he died.
Oh, this is a horrific story, guys. And this, Okay. Here we go, guys. This happened in Frisco, Texas. Looks like there was an argument between two teenagers. Both of them were athletes. And the way this is being reported, I think it will be a true test of just how horrible some of the new black MAGA people are. And this is why I can't throw in with this bunch, man. I've seen black MAGA after black MAGA talk about this story. Like, all the details are not even out. All we know is this. That's all we know. All we know is the young man at the bottom stabbed the young man at the top. And we know the colors. And now you can see MAGA being MAGA. And it's sad. Now, MAGA go MAGA on an issue like this. We get it. This story has a whopping, I saw one particular clip with a whopping 30 million views because somebody got stabbed. No context. And it said, the person up top had a 4.0, which kind of implied like the person on bottom was like, somebody with a third grade education, out dealing dope or something. But that ain't the case. He's also an athlete. They were both athletes, and this happened at a track meet. I don't know exactly what happened. I know whatever happened, it was a tragedy. It was a tragedy in someone's life. Young people, 17 years old. Foolishness, like crazy. Did not need to happen. But what I'm talking about is also the way people are characterizing this. Maybe there's more to the story. I don't know. Let's see how they report it.
In his brother's arms, they were twins, identical twins, and his brother was holding on to him, trying to make it stop bleeding, and he died in his brother's arms. And I rushed up there, and I saw him on the gurney, and I could tell. They said he wasn't breathing. I could see all the blood. I saw where the wound was.
Understandably still in shock, Jeff Metcalf says a precious memory was made just this past weekend when he took his twin boys hunting. That's where Austin got his first hog. Well, this morning at around 10, he rushed here to Kirkendall Stadium where the Memorial High School student athlete suffered a fatal stab wound during this track and field meet. Frisco police say a fight broke out between two students when one stabbed the other. More than 100 student athletes were participating in this meet. Fortunately, they were safely evacuated. Police arrested the suspect. He is 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony of Frisco. He is now charged with murder. Some students, unfortunately, witnessed this deadly encounter and have been interviewed by police. Despite life-saving efforts, the 16-year-old victim died at the hospital. Austin, his father shares, was born 2 minutes before his twin brother Hunter, the two inseparable, as you can imagine. Austin is being remembered as an outstanding student at Memorial High, his football team's MVP, and a young man of faith. His father grappling with loss and forgiveness.
I'm not trying to judge, but what kind of parents did this child have? What was he taught? He brought a knife to a track meet, and he murdered my son by stabbing him in the heart. The guy was in the wrong place. They asked him to move, and he bowed up. This is murder.
Oh, why'd they cut it? Why'd they cut the bowed up part? Yeah, why'd the bowed why'd they get cut? Because my understanding is, when you said bold, he said, I'm not moving and don't touch me. And he was vastly outnumbered. There was a number of you guys, and your son was with friends. I don't know why they cut it. They cut that for a reason. When they cut stuff, there's always a reason. So there's a reason why they cut it at bowed up. Bowed up is, he said, don't touch me. If you touch me, you're going to be sorry. That's what I'm reading. Frisco, Texas, the suspect accused of fatally stabbing a 17-year-old Frisco high school student at a track meet Wednesday morning reportedly confessed to the incident, claiming he was protecting himself. Oh, you mean like Daniel Penny? I don't know. You said what kind of parents teaches their children to protect themselves? Parents with common sense, maybe? Same way you taught your sons to protect themselves, probably with guns, because I saw you hunting for hogs. One witness reportedly told police that the victim, Austin Metcalf, had told the suspect, Kamala Anthony, he would need to move from under his team's tent. I wonder how he said it. I wonder if your son, and look, my condolences. Damn it, my condolences, man. I've got enough, I know what you're going through. I lost a child. I know exactly what you're going through. But what I'm hearing right now is not people looking at two 17-year-old kids that something got out of hand and a tragic thing occurred and someone's going to have to pay for that. We have to find out what happened. So we are in Texas. It's a stand your ground state. So a lot going on. We need to get all the facts to come out, don't we? You know what I hear every time there was an issue, anything, black person, anytime, even when it's a cop, you're like, oh, but you gotta wait till all the facts come out. Well, we don't do that with private citizens. Like the one that shot the young black kid who knocked on the wrong door. Shot him twice. I don't know. I don't think that one got 30 million views on X. I don't think it did. Austin Metcalf told the suspect, Carmelo Anthony, he would need to move out from under his team's tent. The affidavit stated. Anthony, a student at Centennial High School, was reportedly sitting under Memorial High School's tent, so he was sitting under the wrong tent. Upon telling him this, the witness told police that Anthony opened his bag, reached inside, told me, touch me and see what happens. So this became an altercation between the two. He said, touch me and see what happens. And according to what I'm reading here, it's been reported in the Frisco, Texas Tribune or whatever this is. Metcalf reportedly then touched Anthony. The witness told a responding officer that Anthony told Metcalf to punch him and see what would happen. So let me get this right. I got two MAGA guys who love saying F-A-F-O, F-A-F-O, F-A-F-O. And I repeat, tragic event. These are kids. Both of them need to be slapped upside the head and sent to their rooms. No Instagram, no TikTok for 2 weeks. Both of them. One of these kids is under the wrong tent, and I'm sure there was a team of people there. There's a number of witnesses. They're all there. No one de-escalated this? It's just the way that I've been seeing this spurred around X, Elon Musk. The way I see this swirled around X gave me a totally different impression. Almost as if the black kid was hunting them or something. But this looks like a case of stand your own ground. Metcalf reportedly then touched Anthony. The witness told a responding officer, and Anthony told Metcalf to punch him and see what will happen. So if he says, go ahead and punch me, it sounds to me like Austin acted like he was going to punch him. More words are explained. More words had to be exchanged. But people don't just say, punch me and see what happens. He said, touch me, so you touched him. Then he said, punch me and see what happens. The whole time he had his hand in his bag. This shouldn't have happened. It's tragic. It seems so avoidable. Both lives are ruined. One is taken, but the other life is ruined. We know that. But maybe not. Because them laws y'all got in Texas get a little hinky when people bold up. Because bold up people, and they say you're intimidating me, back off, and you don't. I don't know. Is this no one has the duty to retreat? I don't know, man. Someone let me know what the law is in Texas. It's just the way that I've been seeing it's been reported. It's kind of disgusting. We got a bunch of black MAGA people leading the charge. You know how many people got stabbed today? Lots. This and that had to happen. But it's like the MAGA crowd, I don't know, maybe I just don't usually pay attention to it, you know? I wouldn't usually pay attention to the MAGA people, but since, my content, because I'm a Democratic Party hater, now it puts me in proximity to a lot of MAGA people. Check this out. Metcalf reportedly then touched Anthony. The witness told a responding officer, and Anthony told Metcalf to punch him and see what would happen. Soon afterward, the witness said Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony at which point the affidavit continues. Anthony reportedly pulled out what the witness recalled as a black knife and stabbed Metcalf once before running away. Is it possible there was beef between these two teams? Is it possible? I'm just wondering because where'd all this come about? Based on what I'm reading, this is maybe not as cut and dry as people like to, as it's being portrayed by particularly black MAGA. That's what I've been seeing, which is the most what put it on my radar. Was the black MAGA people going, I know I ain't seen this being reported by corporate media. I ain't seen the liberal media but talk about it. Well, I'm not liberal media, but I'll talk about it. But you damn right, I'm going to read it. I'm going to look at what happened. I ain't going to jump to conclusions on either side of it, but I'm going to look to see what happened. Yeah, because Dad is upset as he has a right to be, as any dad would be. So I can't trust what he's saying. They're not even playing his full statement on this damn program here. I think he said some things they thought might damage their case, so they clipped it. They edited what Pop said. Anthony admitted what he did. Anthony said the suspect reportedly further said that Metcalf had put his hands on him. I was protecting myself. We'll see where this goes, guys, but I want to just put it out there. One of the casualties of this political spectrum, we got this food fight, is people going to run to their own corners, particularly this has got a racial element in it. It's going to be all over the place. We'll see what happens. Can we start at least pretend at the baseline that we give a damn about these kids? Can we just start there by saying this is a tragedy? But I do have a problem with the rush to judgment because none of this has been articulated in all the memes, in all the posts across X. None of it's being articulated that the white kid was the aggressor. If you put your hands on someone after being told not to, then grab them after being told not to. That's kind of important points to put in there. Those are facts and details that need to be included in all the propaganda, in all the posting and the memes and shit that are floating around X. But they're not. You know, man, I don't got a problem with you voting for Donald Trump. Vote for who you want to vote for, man. I got no problem with that. I don't even hold it against you. In fact, I hold it against you more if you voted for Kamala. I'm a Democratic Party hater, but I do not abide this. I do not abide you trying to get your bones so badly to be accepted by the conservatives that you'll just jump on anything in order to get a couple views. All right. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. It's a tragedy. I said it a number of times here, but I am upset with the way this has been reported. All right. Next. This is murder.
I don't know. I know they have someone in custody.
Yeah, we do.
And you know what? I already forgive this person.
Already?
Already. God takes care of things. God's going to take care of me. God's going to take care of my family.
The victim's father says these two teens did not know each other before today. We do need to stress that police have not said what they believe led up to this deadly encounter.
After hearing that father say it like that, I'm just going to say, full transparency, man. Just because I don't like the way it's been reported, it ain't been reported by him this way. It's just bothersome the way they went totally racial with this. I've seen this on Twitter. If it was two white kids got into a fight and one white kid stabbed the other white kid, no story. And that's bad. That's not good. And we all know if it was a story of two black kids and a black kid stabbed the other black kid, it'd be less of the story. It'd just be another Wednesday in Texas. Wouldn't even hit the radar. No one would blink. Other than maybe just the school members. Then they'd fight over who got whose desk. So, look, it's just when the racial element comes in, it becomes this food fight, this garbage fight. You know what I'm saying? And it's horrific, You never get over the loss of a child, man. And this father is in shock. So I'm surprised he has the wherewithal to be in a state of mind to say anything gracious at all, because I would be destroyed. I have been destroyed. But I got to say, the internet going internet is just a damn despicable thing when the internet up the sake of our children, when you know damn well some of your grown-ass men I saw perpetrating this. And America don't care about us killing each other. As long as we do it to people in our own color that look like us. America don't care. You know that. You know that. You know that. We independent. We're supposed to be better than that. We ain't supposed to be. Next, what I got left here, man? What we got left?
Is a prayer vigil tonight at 7 p.m. at Hope Fellowship Church right here in Frisco.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Something that parents rely on, that children with disabilities rely on, with birthing mothers relying on, something that parents rely on, that children with disabilities rely on, with birthing mothers relying on.
Yeah, people were saying that Cory Booker, he's in the running now to get the 2028 nomination from the Democratic Party. Look at him, he's doing so great. This guy just made history. And then I see this clip where he used the term birthing mother. Just to remind you, no, he's not going to be nominated for anything except a seat. Whenever I think about the Democratic Party, no matter what Trump does wrong, and he does a lot of things wrong, I think of this meme, this clip here. Here's the Democrats. Here's all the dumb policies they could have. And where are all their hopes and dreams? This is what they do every time. And you try to, this is why I gave up. I gave up on them long ago, guys.
والك صغير صغير تولع وخرج رب الغرفة وقلت شو لا.
They want to run into the fire. That's the Democratic Party. Can't fix stupid. All right, folks, let's go to the phone. Well, the phone's there. That's a long time ago. Let's go to the comment section, see what these amazing people had to say. The Tim Black's Wolfpack, how y'all doing? Thank you for tuning into the show tonight. We got the one and only Topher in his house. Became a YouTube member, man. I thought you were a YouTube member, man. Thank you, brother. Black Mamba came through swinging. Super sticker for Mamba. Trust no parties in the house. Popo no Shea Shelley. They moved the goalposts. Illegal deported, period. Right. He did that because, dude, Bakari trying to stick up for Jasmine Crocker. She said it wasn't a crime. Your painted in scalp is a crime, Bakari, as if we don't know. Head transplant, whatever that is. Curlin Quinn. Thank you, Curlin Quinn, for the super sticker. Popo no Shelley, notice any talk of black jobs taken by illegals? No, of course not. We don't matter. We don't matter. I got you, babe. They don't care. Lou McDonald says, thank you, sir. You're greatly appreciated. Well, Lou, so are you, fam. Thank you. So are you. Sanders says Kamala knew she wasn't going to win. She gave her friends out to all her buddies. Gave money out to all her friends. She's nearly spent $2 billion she spent on her campaign was an excuse to launder funds before the Dems were drummed out. Yeah, she did that, boy. I know Martin is, I know Roland Martin is so happy he got his, man. He don't know what to do with himself. He's like, oh, man, he been kissing Democratic Party ass so long. He finally got big payday. Almost $500,000. Tax-free. Well, not tax-free. I wonder if Roland's going to take all the tax breaks. I wonder if or is he going to do the right thing? I wonder if he's going to use all the loopholes that the Republicans use. Man, people be falling for the okie doke around here. No, not the Democrats. They would never use the loopholes as they complain about. All right, guys, thank you for tuning into the show, man. We'll be back tomorrow. We got to knock it out, man. It is what it is. Damn, it's already Friday. I want to thank you for being here. Don't forget the show brought to you by the Tim Black Wolfpack. The mug, the official legacy mug, Tim Black Show. Order one by going to timblackmug.com. It's a mean mug. Don't mean mug me, but get a mug at timblackmug.com. I want to say thank you once again to Buck Bewley and Black Mamba and all the Tim Black Wolfpack who came through. We do have the best people. We do have the best people, man. I'm really proud of us, man, for doing what we do. For sale, thank you, my brother, for another one. Valerie, much love to you. And that's it, man. We are good. Apple, who that be? I don't know what that is. M. Sparks. Yeah, Big Snacks Martin is eating. Yep. He chilling, man. I know he happy as hell. I don't know why he be doing so much yelling. That brother got 350 grand out of Kamala. What he got to be still yelling and be upset and cursing at everybody for? He got his payday, and he's still mad. Danielle, thank you, Danielle. I appreciate you. I don't understand it. Rollins is upset like they stopped making Twinkies or something. Look, I'm a big guy, so I get to say that. You know? Big guy recognized. But you know what? I got some height. Rollins short and pudgy. It's a tough combination. All right, I'm done, y'all. Number love for y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Shout out to the Tim Black Wolf Pack. Don't forget, become a member on Patreon. I want to see some of y'all on Patreon. I need you and my squad on Patreon. Go to jointimblacktv.com. Number love for y'all. I'll see y'all soon. And remember, don't let anybody take your cornbread. Oh, and for my 5150 goons, we still 5150, baby. Corey's a bad brother, man. Oh yeah. Where's my ladies? As always, where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? Oh, there they go.